Hi folks, today I am looking into the history of one of the greats when it comes to scale models, but we will have to go back to their roots, which involves diecast, before they become cherished with their styrene. Of course, I am talking about Matchbox. We're tearing into this turbocharged tale of Leslie Charles Smith, the bloke who co-founded Lesney Products and gave us the world the Matchbox brand, a name that sparked more childhood joy than an abandoned ice cream van. From a grotty little die casting shop to a global toy empire, complete with those brilliant plastic scale model kits still being churned out today. This is a story of grit, genius and a bloody clever road roller. So buckle up, grab a pint of nostalgia and let's hone in on the life of the man who made tiny models of both metal and plastic into a massive deal. So, Leslie Charles Smith was born March the 6th, 1918 in Enfield, Middlesex. Picture this scrappy 14-year-old lad chucking school out of the window to dive headfirst into the real world. He lands his first job as an export buyer for a die casting firm in London. Not exactly glamorous, but it's a start. Then World War II arrives and crashes the party. So in 1939, Leslie is off to the Royal Navy. There he meets Rodney Smith, no relation, but a mate with a dream as big as a Bentley's boot. Together they hatch a plan to start their own business. Post-war 1947, Lesney and Rodney set up Lesney Products in a derelict pub called The Rifleman, because nothing says global empire like a clapped out boozer in North London. Then they moved to a factory in Hackney. The name, a cheeky mashup of Lesney and Rodney. Brilliant. They're churning out car parts such as dashboards and door handles. Then a big order came in for some toy guns. But Rodney soon does a runner, thinking there was no future in the company, leaving Leslie up a creek looking for a paddle. Now, that paddle was John William Odell, or Jack as he is known, an engineer he had previously met in a job at another die casting company. A visionary with more spark than a faulty wire, this chap's about to change the game forever. In 1948, Lesney starts knocking out die-cast toys, flogging them at Woolworths. Their first proper toy? A road roller nicked straight from the Dinky Playbook, who were the biggest die-cast toy manufacturer at the time, the cheeky buggers. They also created a cowboy wagon with horses and a soapbox racer. During this time they did create non-toy products like a fishing bait press, which the anglers of the UK just couldn't get enough of. But then the Korean War also crashes this party in 1950, and zinc, which was vital for die casting, gets banned for non-military use. Disaster. It's like trying to make beer without yeast. Fortunately, by 1952, the ban is lifted and Lesney's back in business. They hit the jackpot with 1 million tiny coronation coach models for Queen Elizabeth II's 1953 bash. The profit? Oh, they fueled something massive. Now this is where it gets properly brilliant. Jack Odell's daughter Annie sparks the Matchbox revolution, and there are two stories that float around. One is her school had a daft rule that toys had to fit into a matchbox, or according to Nick Jones's book Matchbox Toys, Annie kept smuggling spiders home in matchboxes, so Jack promised her a proper toy to fit one if she just knock it off with these creepy crawlies. Either way, Jack crafts a tiny green and red road roller, small enough to fit inside a matchbox. That little beauty births the iconic Matchbox 175 range. A dump truck and a cement mixer join the party, all sold in replica matchboxes, and just like that, Matchbox roars onto the scene. but on the box you would have seen another company's name. Moco, the unsung hero of this tale. They were founded in 1875 by Moses Konstam in Germany. Moco were the packaging and distribution wizards of the toy world. By the 1950s, they are a big deal, and Lesney teams up with them to get Matchbox cars into UK shops. Those early boxes are stamped with the Moco's name. In 1959, Lesney buys Moco's British arm, but the Konstam family keep innovating. Richard Konstam, Moses' grandson, starts Rico, who partner with Tamiya for scale models, and snaps up the BT's hobby shop chain, where Matchbox cars and kits flew off the shelves. By the mid-50s, Matchbox is tearing up the track, and in 1956 they launched their yesteryear models. Vintage cars that make collectors drool even today. Lesney introduced its 1/46 scale Models of Yesteryear line based on turn-of-the-century vehicles, which allowed Odell to indulge his love of detail, dashboards, opening doors and bonnets, and perspex windows. By 1960, Matchbox is ready to go alone as a public company, full throttle. It is stated that by 1966, 100 million Matchbox toys which were sold were led to Lesney bagging the Queen's Award to Industry. Leslie is also handed an OBE in 1968, not bad for a lad who ditched school at 14. But Leslie and Jack aren't done. In 1972 they swerve into plastic model kits. Why? They're already pros at injection moulding for their diecast car interiors. They understood exceptionally well how to tool a casting. Plus, with the link to Woolworths, they probably saw Airfix raking it in and thought, we can do better. Matchbox kits were proper game changers. They were moulded in 2 or 3 colours, so kids didn't need to faff about with paint. Genius. They even rope in an aviation guru, Maurice Landy, to design aircraft kits, and that kicked off their purple range. By 1973 they've got 26 kits, from 172 scale planes to 176 scale tanks, and those came with diorama bases. So modelers whinged they were too simple, but they were just as accurate as the competition at the time. But during that time, Jack Odell retires on his laurels, and why not? He achieved it all, though remaining as deputy chairman. In 1974, Matchbox dived into a new, bigger scale and unleashed a 1/32 scale Porsche 917 kit. Kids were working 2 paper rounds and offering to clean grandma's toilet just to raise funds to buy this kit, and it did look fantastic at the time. By 1980s they had 6 planes and 7 cars in that scale, including that 6-wheeled Formula 1 car, the Tyrrell P34, which also meant another round of Grandma's porcelain throne looking quite shiny. But the 1980s hit them like a lorry full of bad decisions. The British toy industry is on its knees, and Lesney's shaking like a shitting dog. Before this, in 1978, they went and bought AMT in the USA, hoping to go global, but the recession slams the brakes. Cost saw outsourcing to Hong Kong just doesn't cut it, and even Jack Odell returned in 1981 to try and save the sinking ship. With one last push, they released 4 motorbikes in 1/12 scale, a Harley Davidson, a Suzuki RGA 500, a Vincent Black Shadow, and the now rare BMW R100 RS, which has never been released again. But sadly, by 1982, Lesney's insolvent and the receivers are called in. Heartbreaking.
Twist it. Pop it. Down. Nice going. You're out.
Oh, sorry there. Just asking a bit of a favour. If you are enjoying the content on this channel and you're not yet a subscriber, will you please consider becoming a subscriber? It's really simple to do and it's free. Just click subscribe, and if you ring that bell, click all, you'll be notified when I release a new video. Right then, let's move over to part 2 of this video. Universal of Hong Kong takes over. drops the Lesney name and rebrands as Matchbox International Limited. Production shifts to their Far East factories in Macau, except for the yesteryears, which stayed in Rochford, England until 1985, and then that also moved to Macau. The plastic kits limped on in the UK for a bit, with releases like the Rolls-Royce Phantom and a Westland Puma in 32nd scale. Sadly, the last tools moulded under the Matchbox brand were the BK117 helicopter and a Heinkel HE70 in 1/72nd scale. And one last tank which they were famous for, a Challenger in the iconic 1/76 scale. By 1992, Universal's looking for a buyer, and Tyco Toys snaps up Matchbox in name and just the diecast tooling. 5 years later, Mattel, yes, the Hot Wheels lot, buys Tyco in 1997, uniting Matchbox with his arch rival. The Matchbox International Limited name is binned, and Matchbox cars keep rolling with new ranges like moving parts that line up in shops today. So with the diecast now happily married to her American, what happened to its sister, the plastic? Well, she married a German who sometimes let her out of the house in fresh new clothes and a makeover. Yes, in 1991, Revell Germany grabs most of the Matchbox scale model tooling and a 10-year deal to use the Matchbox name. Some of those classic kits, like the 1/72nd scale planes and the 1/76 tanks with diorama bases, are still being manufactured under Revell's branding, often in fresh box art and fresh instructions. And this year, 2025, Revell announced they're reviving some of those 32nd scale classics, like the Porsche 917, the Mercedes-Benz SSKL, the Surtees TS16, and that Tyrrell P34, and a 76 scale M19 tank transporter. All these come with fresh box art and a lot better instructions. Sadly, no more multicolored plastic. And remember AMT, that Matchbox bought back in 1980s? That was nabbed by Ertl, then passed to Round 2 LLC in 2012. So anyway, what about our heroes? Well, Jack Odell, the genius toy maker, teams up with Burt Russell in 1982 to found Lado, which is Odell backwards. Told you he was a genius. He continues making small vehicle models until he retires in 1999. He sadly battles Parkinson's and passes away in July 2007, aged 87. Rodney Smith, though, he went off to work in the pig and poultry business, but that didn't work out. He then created a new company which bought some of Lesney's old, outdated equipment. That soon became the associated manufacturers for the diecast distributors Moorstone, which from 1956 to 1959 began to compete directly with Matchbox, producing models of the SO petrol pump and a series of noddy figures. In 1959, this became the Budgie toy range, comprising over 50 1/75th scale models, which was used by the electric train fans as it was close to HO and 00 gauge. When the business was taken over in 1961, Smith remained as a managing director until it folded in 1968. He transferred to the coast. He worked in a boating company before retiring to Kent in 1982. He died in July 2013, aged 95. And the founder, who was there right through it all, Leslie Smith. He sticks with Lesney until 1982 and the collapse. Smith took a particular interest in labour relations, which were among the best in the country, because women made the best toy makers, but had to get their children to and from school. He organised a convoy of double-decker buses to enable workers to go and pick up their children. After all that, he then becomes chairman of the Board of Governors for St Paul's School in Winchmore Hill and another North London school. He died on May the 26th, 2005, also at that age of 87. From a 14-year-old dreamer to an OBE winning legend. Leslie didn't just build toys, he built memories that still spark the imagination of collectors and scale modelers alike. And there you have it, the rip-roaring saga of Leslie Smith and the tiny models that conquered the world. And you've probably built a Matchbox model even without realising it. What's your best Matchbox memory? Have you got a rare plastic kit or some hidden die cast in the garage? Please let me know in the comments. I love reading them. If this video made you smile or you learnt something, then please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet but would like to subscribe, just click subscribe, ring that bell, click all, and to be notified when I release a new video. Huge shout out goes to my channel members who help me financially with this channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, click join below and select which membership tier you so wish. We have a Tuesday night channel only members live stream where we work on our benches and talk about scale modelling, technique and other things. If you'd like to become a member, again just click join below. In one of the four corners will be a video or a playlist of other content from my channel. Please go and have a look, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.